Hi guys, I'm Sierra from The Rested Roan. I help people decorate their homes by creating home decor out of mostly reused and repurposed materials, but we do a lot of custom work too. So for tonight's tutorial, I have the vinegar and tea staining tutorial. It is one of my favorite stains. So it's inexpensive, it's easy, it's fun. I mean, it's really cool. So if you are just joining us, please say hi, say where you're from. We're here in Northern California, and today was the first day of fall. Yay! Actually, yesterday felt more like fall than today. Yesterday it was super windy and crazy cold. Anyway, so yeah, say where you're from if you're just joining. So as far as, oh, hold on one second. Let me get hooked up on here so I can answer any questions. Let's see. Hold on one second. I'm so sorry. I am not finding it. Okay, well, I'll have to answer any questions at the end. So for the vinegar and tea staining, what you're going to need, you're going to need white vinegar. I've actually used apple cider vinegar, but I recommend white vinegar. And then you'll need, it's 4/0 steel wool. So it's the finest steel wool you can get. If you can't remember what aught it is, just get the finer of the two. So whatever steel wool you can get that's super fine, that's the one you want. And then you'll need really strong tea. And honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of tea you get, because each different type of tea you use, it pulls out different colors in the wood. So the vinegar and tea, what it does is it reacts with the tannins in the wood, and then that's how it brings out the color. So you can take raw, brand new wood and make it look weathered in just minutes. I mean, it's so cool. It's awesome. Anyway, so different types of teas will pull out different types of colors. Let's see, I used, what was it? I think it was raspberry tea, and it pulled out red. And then I used mint tea, and it pulled out, I think it was green. So it pulls out a lot of really neat different colors in the wood, and it pulls out the natural grains. I mean, it's just awesome. It looks really cool. I love it. So you'll need the tea, and then you're going to need something to put it on with. So a paintbrush, and you're going to need something to put it in. If you've seen our page, you will have seen that we don't have a shortage of mason jars around our place. So we put everything in mason jars. So we have our vinegar and our tea. So what we're going to do is we're first going to make our vinegar stain, or our vinegar concoction. And just take one piece of the steel wool, and you'll just tear it into tiny little pieces. And I usually make about a quart at a time. This is my big jar. It's actually been sitting for a while, so I'm not entirely sure what our stain will look like, but it'll be awesome. So tear up your steel wool. And, oh gosh, I forgot a lid for my jar. Oh well. So we'll tear up the steel wool, and then you'll put it in the jar with the white vinegar. And let me see, hold on real quick. Let me see if I have a jar lid somewhere. I'm sure I do. Oh, look. Fancy that, a jar lid. So we have these everywhere. So you take your vinegar and your steel wool, and you'll just mix it up. Normally I fill it all the way to the top, so this one is not quite half full, but I mean, it'll still work great. So you'll shake it around and make sure the steel wool is fully submerged, and then you'll let it sit at least overnight. The longer it sits, the better it is. So if you can let it sit 24 hours, it's great, and then the longer it sits, it's more potent. And the vinegar starts to eat the steel wool, so the colors start to change. It's really neat. If you're looking for a very specific stain finish, I don't recommend this stain. because, like I said, it pulls out it reacts with the tannins in the wood. So you never really know what you're going to get. You can sand it and make it a little bit lighter. You can do more coats and make it darker. If you have seen our farmhouse table, we did this stain on our farmhouse table. And it's all different shades because I did different coats and made streaks through it, and I think the last streaks I did actually turned black. So it turned out really good. I'll have to post another picture of it tomorrow so you guys can see. But like I said, this is one of my favorite stains. It's just not super consistent because of the way it reacts with the wood. So this wood I already stained. Here, I'll show you. Wait, just push that. So this is only vinegar and steel wool stained. Okay, so this is what we started with. This is raw wood, and then this is the vinegar with the steel wool, and then we have another piece of raw wood, and then another piece which will be our control. So the one I already stained with vinegar, I'm just going to put tea on, and that way you guys can kind of see what it looks like. And you want to let it fully dry between each coat. Oh, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know, and I will get to them at the very end, since my tablet does not appear to be logging on to the live video or working. Yeah, no, it's not working. So I'll have to get to them at the end. So we're going to tea stain this one and let it sit. So this first one was already vinegar stained, so I showed you the vinegar stain on it. And you'll let it dry completely before you do more coats. So your first coat is going to be the vinegar and steel wool, and then your next coat's going to be the tea, and then your next coat's going to be the vinegar, and then the tea again. So you just keep going until it's as dark as you want. So if you don't want it dark, just do the vinegar. If you want it a little bit darker, do the vinegar and the tea. Oh, that's the wrong one. This one I just made, so I want to use my one that's been sitting. So this one, like I said, has been sitting, I don't even know how long it's been sitting, maybe a month. There's no steel wool left in it, so it's been sitting a long time. So this board was just a raw piece of wood. And we actually did, one of our displays has some fence boards in it, and they looked way too new because I mean, everything we have is rustic, you know, the windmills and the reclaimed decor, and it just didn't look right. So I just did a straight vinegar stain on all of it with the vinegar and the steel wool, and it turned out awesome. It was awesome. So let me show you guys. So this one's the vinegar. This one was the vinegar, and I just put tea on it. And like I said, you want to let it sit and fully dry between each coat. Okay, so this is what we just started with. And it's going to get darker and darker and darker. And then this is the vinegar. Look at how cool that is. So it just weathers it. It just makes it look awesome. Like just old weathered wood. It's really, really neat. Hi, Whitney. Oh, sorry I didn't see you earlier. Thank you for joining. So this is the vinegar only, okay? And then this one was originally the vinegar that I showed you earlier, and I just put tea on it. And it's gonna get darker. Each piece of wood reacts differently. So if you're making something out of wood and you're going to vinegar stain it, I recommend using the same strip of wood for the whole project if you want it all to be cohesive and look the same. So this is the one that I just tea stained. So it was vinegar stained, and now it's tea stained. And it's, I mean, look how dark it is. It's pretty awesome. And if you saw it before, just go back if you didn't see it before. It looked cool before, and it was just vinegar stained, and then I sanded it a little bit. So let this dry. If you want it even darker, I mean, that's almost like an espresso color. It's pretty dark. So let it dry, and then you can sand it if you want it a little bit lighter. And if you want it darker, then you'll do another layer of vinegar. Hi, Crystal. So, I mean, you can just keep going with it. It's so fun. Okay. So, for the tea. So this one, it's pulling out almost like some red tones. And if you guys have friends who like tutorials, like DIY, they like cool stains, I mean, this is awesome. Please share. That way, you know, share it with other people and they can learn, and it's just so great. I looked everywhere to find out how to tea and vinegar stain. I mean, I went through probably a bazillion blog posts and how-tos, and anyway, it's awesome. I love it. So this one is just the vinegar stain. I mean, this is what it was before, and this is after, what, 2 minutes of the vinegar. I mean, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, that's it. So it's just the vinegar and the steel wool, and then really strong tea, and honestly, you can use any tea you like. You can use mint or peppermint or whatever you have, chamomile, whatever you have in your cupboard. I think this is just plain old Lipton tea, and this is a pint, and it's 3 tea bags. So it's pretty strong, and you want it pretty strong. If you don't want the wood to be as reactive, you can make it a little bit lighter, you know, make the tea not as strong. But anyway, this is one of my favorite wood stains. Like I said, if you've ever received one of our products with our barnwood stain, this is what we use. It's cheap, it's non-toxic, it's fun. I mean, it's just a cool DIY. So next week I'm going to be working on the stenciling tutorial, and I'm not sure what day yet. It'll be. But we'll do a stenciling tutorial next week, so that way if you don't have something to stencil with, you can make your own signs, your own stencils. It's super easy. It's really fun. You can paint cool fall signs. Anyway, oh, and also we just got our new website up and running, and I am slowly adding product. So I apologize. I've had some inquiries about Christmas purchases and what have you, and we're slowly getting it there. So check it out. It's therustedroan.com, and if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me as always. So thank you for joining me tonight. I am so excited that I got to share this tutorial with you. I've been waiting to share it, and it's one of my favorite. So anyway, all right, so next week, don't forget about the stenciling tutorial. I will post and keep you guys updated as to when it's going to be. Okay, so see you next week. Bye.